Hi friends, we have a sloka from Bhartruhari. We know this Bhartruhari, who is the philosopher king. He wrote several great slokas. This sloka is from the Vairagya Shatakam. So he wrote 3 books, each book consisting of 100 verses. One is about Niti, basically conduct, etc., manners, etc., relating to people, all human relations, etc. That is the first set. The second set is about say Shrungara Shatakam, something relating to man-woman relationship. Then the third sloka, third set of 100 verses, they relate to Vairagya, dispassion, how a person has to slowly develop dispassion from this all various bondages, various things. So this shloka is from this third set, that is how to develop that Vairagya. If you want to develop some dispassion, what is needed? Unless you think about the real nature of a thing, you will not develop Vairagya, you will not develop dispassion. So long as you do not think about its real nature, then you are so attached to that. When you really think on the reality of it, it may be reality of friendship, it may be reality of a man-woman relationship, anything. If you think on that really, very, very honestly, very, very brutally, frankly, then naturally you will get slightly, rather dispassionate. You will, of course, you will definitely love your wife, you will definitely love your children, but still you do it with some little bit of dispassion. You are not hooked on to that. So that is what is the theme of that set of 100 poems. So this shloka, it tells about say various sources of anxiety for a human being. You see, human being is anxious about so many things. He is afraid. At every step he is afraid. At every step he is having some fear. So what are all these sources of anxiety? So in this particular shloka, Bhartruhari is actually listing out about 9 sources of fear. 9 sources of fear, they are enumerated here. Let us read this. Let us read the shloka. Bhoge roga bhayam, Kulet Shuti Bhayam, Vitte Nrupalad Bhayam, Mane Dainya Bhayam, Bale Ripu Bhayam, Rupe Jaraya Bhayam, Shastre Vada Bhayam, Gune Khala Bhayam, Kaye Krutantad Bhayam, Sarvam Vastu Bhayanvitam Bhuvin Runam, Vairagyameva Bhayam. Okay. So he says, he has listed out about 9 things in this. So the first thing is about enjoyment. Bhoge, bhoga. Bhoga means any type of enjoyment, not merely eating. This bhoga comes from the Sanskrit root bhuj. Bhuj means to eat. Eating means normal food you can eat. And anything you take with your senses is what is called bhojanam only. Bhoga. Bhoga means enjoyment. I listen to some good music, that is bhoga for my ear. I eat something, it is bhoga for my tongue. Then I have some other nice experience, that is again bhoga. And I see a nice thing, look at a nice thing and enjoy. I see a great sculpture or painting, whatever it is. That is a bhoga. I read a great kavya, great work of art. That is again a happiness, that is bhoga. So, but of course, when you read a kavya, roga bhayam is not there, but various other bhogas, all these sensual enjoyments, let us limit to sensual enjoyments. So, all these sensual enjoyments, they are also associated with some little bit of danger. What is that? Anything in excess, it is leading to some problem. So, bhoge roga bhayam. If you eat too much also, you are fond of sweets, you eat too many sweets, then you will develop some problem. Suppose you eat many fatty foods or ready-made, what is this, fast foods, etc., etc. Then again it is leading to some heart problems. Something else, you overeat some other proteinous food, you have some other problem. So anything which is good or anything which is liked by the tongue, it is having some problem for the body. So anything good is also associated with something which is bad. So when this bhoga, this enjoyment is taking place, then you are also having an anxiety about your BP, you are having an anxiety about your, say, LDL level and HDL level, or some other problem with your diabetes, etc., etc. So when you are eating, you are always conscious of diabetes, you are conscious of this, conscious of that, etc., etc. Then the second one is Kule Chuti Bhayam. Kula means a particular clan. Suppose a person is belonging to the so-called royal clan. There are so many royal clans which are there. Or suppose some highly esteemed family, let us say, a highly esteemed family or a royal clan, he belongs to that. Then he is worried about fall from that position. So he has to maintain his status, he has to maintain that purity of the clan. Suppose something happens to the clan, say he feels that the purity of the clan is gone. So like that. Suppose that kulam is, for some reason, it falls into some bad shape. So then he is always scared of that. Kule Chuti Bhayam. So when he is belonging to a great clan, he always wants to be in that clan and he is always afraid of slipping down. Always you have to have the latest car. Always you should have the best car only. And then if you are falling down, then again he is very much scared of that fall in status, let us say. That is it. Kule Chuti Bhayam. Vitte Nrupalad Bhayam. If you are a king, if you are a very wealthy man, Vittam means money, wealth. Money means wealth. Vitte Nrupalad Bhayam. In olden days, Nrupala means a king. In olden days it referred to a king. Nowadays it has to refer to the government. If you are having a lot of black money, somebody like Modi will come and demonetize and all the money is gone. So, Vitte Nrupalad Bhayam. You have got so much of money, then the government, you have to jolly well give some taxes to the government. Otherwise the government cannot run. So the Vitte, if a person is hoarding a lot of wealth, you can't enjoy it alone. So you have to share it with others. So you have to give it to the state. So when a person who is a rich man, he is always moving around auditors. Because the auditors, they will tell you all the tricks about how to evade taxes. So moving around the auditors is only due to fear only. Fear of paying taxes. You have to avoid taxes. So you have to get hold of the most crooked auditor. So the most crooked auditing firm, and most of them are crooked only. So these people, depending on what money you give, their level of crookedness, it varies. So these crooked auditors, they will tell you how to evade taxes. So a person who is having money, he is always afraid of the state. Then Mane Dainya Bhayam. Mana is a person who is having self-esteem. A person may not be a very rich man, but he is a man who is living, he may be a poor man, he may be an ordinary man, but he is living with some self-esteem. So a person with self-esteem, suppose he is put in some extraordinary situation, some extraordinary pressure, where say his self-esteem is lost, then that man will feel miserable. People commit suicide. In fact, several people commit suicide only because of this self-esteem. Suppose a person is living, this family is having a very, very respectable life, and in that family some untoward thing happens, where people start talking about, these people, they were so good till recently, and now we see what happened to them. So this man's self-esteem is gone. So people commit suicide. There are so many cases of so-called honor deaths and honor suicides, etc. So that is Mane Dainya Bhayam. A person who is having that self-esteem, Dainyam means living in penury, coming down in that, losing that eminence, losing that eminent status in society. So that is what is that Dainya Bhayam. Then suppose you come to a person who is very, very physically strong, Bala. You find somebody like a Schwarzenegger. A Schwarzenegger is always scared of his rival. So there is another, suppose there is a world champion, boxing champion. This boxing champion, he is afraid of some other rival, somebody who is upcoming chap who is very, very strong, and then who is much stronger than him. He is always afraid of the rival. So Bala, or not only to an individual, it can be applied to anybody, it can be applied to a society. A country may be very, very strong, a superpower, let us say. A superpower, unnecessarily, they are afraid of so many things. They are afraid of all the people. They build up so many nuclear weapons. They build up such a huge pile of nuclear missiles, etc., etc. That is because of fear. That is because of fear, they want to dominate, and they are afraid that somebody else might strike him, and before somebody else strikes, you have to strike. So all these problems will be there. So that is the reason why Bale Ripu Bhayam. Then Rupe Jaraya Bhayam. This is a very, very interesting thing. All the Miss Worlds and all the beauty queens of the world, they undergo this. What is that? Rupe. Rupa. A person is very beautiful, let us say. A person who is a Miss World or whatever, Miss Universe. And then that Miss Universe is having so much of anxiety about keeping up her shape. So by the next year, if she has put on some weight, she has to go to a trainer, and then she does all the things. She cuts down food, and very great actresses, etc. They in fact they destroyed their health. They literally spoiled their health by by totally cutting down eating. There was a very famous actress who cut down eating so much that she was almost starving herself, and she died of that. So like that, people, they become so anxious, and there is so much of business in this. That is beauty. Business relating to beauty is one of the biggest businesses in the world. There are two things which dominate business, it seems. That is, one is beauty and the other is weapons. The weapons market is very, very rich. And then the beauty. Anything related to all this very many beauty items. This geriatrics. Geriatrics is another field where a person doesn't want to become old. So you want to fight that old age. Forever you want to be young. So that again is a big business. And people insure their body parts. Somebody who is having a big bust, she insures her bust. Somebody who is having good thighs, she insures her thighs. Some actor or some sportsman, let us say, a sports person, he or she, insures the body parts. So like that. So, Rupe, Jaraya Bhayam. Jara is old age. Jara is geriatry. All that is a related word. So, a person who is beautiful or handsome, a person who is an icon, so that icon is scared that his body shape will go. A person who is having that six-pack body, if he puts on weight, then naturally his appeal goes down. So that is the reason why he works hard, and then every day he toils for about 6 to 7 hours, and then basically to keep up his body. That's all. Then Shastre Vadabhayam, you come to a scholar. Shastra, a person is so well versed in so many Shastras. And then this man, he is always thinking about the professor in the next department or in the next university. Suppose there is a big professor in a university. He is so well versed in a particular science. There is another professor in another university who is his rival. So, you see, a beauty queen has rivalry with another beauty queen. A fighter has rivalry with another fighter. A beggar has a rivalry with another beggar. Yachako, yachakas shatruhu dese. A beggar on the street, he has a rivalry with another beggar only. So, similarly, a professor has a rivalry with another professor only. Because that professor has published some books, this fellow has to publish some more books. So his rivalry is there with that professor. And then if there is some sort of a discussion or argument or debate, in that debate this man may lose. So he is always scared of that. He is always worried about that. Oh, in that debate I have to win. So Shastre Vadabhayam. Then Gune Khalabhayam. If you are a highly virtuous man, even then there is a fear. Suppose you are a highly virtuous man, then what is the fear you have? The fear that some other rascal, they will unnecessarily blame you for wrong things. Suppose you are quite well, you are paying your taxes well, you are doing all your duties in a very, very normal way. And then you have to do it in such a way that it is also known to people. So that is why they say, a goodness or virtue should not only be practiced, it should also be known by others. It should also be seen by others. So that is, there is a particular saying regarding that. I don't recall that saying, but there is a saying. Gune Khalabhayam. That is, somebody can falsely attribute certain things to you. Suppose you are always on the right path, but still somebody puts some false blame on you. So the good person, a virtuous person, is afraid of bad people that they may blame him wrongly. Then Kaye Krutantad Bhayam. The body, Kaya means body. Body, we all have bodies. Naturally, what is the fear? Oh, at some point of time, the death will take place. At some point of time, this Krutanta. Krutanta is what? Krutanta is the Lord of Death. Lord Yama, Yamadharmaraja, who is the god of death, let us say. So we are always afraid of that Yamadharmaraja, who will at some point of time take away our life. So like that, this poem lists out about 9 sources of fear. That means practically everybody is afraid of something. Practically everyone in the world is afraid of something. So he says in the last line, Sarvam vastu bhayanvitam bhuvin runam. Runam, for the people. Sarvam vastu bhayanvitam. Everything, whatever you take, it is associated with some little bit of anxiety, it is associated with fear. Then how to get over this? Vairagyameva bhayam. Vairagya does not mean throw away all these things. Vairagya, we have to remember one thing. Dispassion does not mean that you have to remove, you have to get away, you have to dismiss your wife and children, you have to go to some ashram. It doesn't mean that. Dispassion is, don't cling on to that. You have all your relations, you have all your friends, you have all your say food, etc. Bhoga you have, but then there should not be a dependency syndrome on that. There should not be a dependency. If I can't eat this, I can't survive. If I can't see my wife, I can't live. If I can't see my son, I can't live. If I can't see my daughter, I can't live. So this sort of dependency syndrome should not be there. And to get that vairagya will be the result of only viveka. We know that Vedanta says one thing, viveka leads to vairagya. Viveka, what is viveka? Viveka is analysis. Analysis of what is this? You take anything, bhoga, okay, you do some sort of brainstorming on this thing called, meditate on that subject called bhoga. What exactly is this enjoyment? Enjoyment is something which is there for a particular time. So long as you are healthy, okay, you can eat. When the health deteriorates, you cannot eat. This is the nature of it. Then so long as you eat in very little quantity, okay, it is good. Then if you eat in large quantities, it is harmful. Anything in large quantities is harmful. Suppose you are having that sort of thing. There is no dependency syndrome. So that has to be avoided. That viveka leads to vairagya. So that is the point here. So that all these things which give anxiety to a human being, so this anxiety can be avoided by developing viveka, and through that viveka one has to develop dispassion. So let us read the shloka again. Bhoge roga bhayam, kule চ্যুতি bhayam, vitte nrupalad bhayam, mane dainya bhayam, bale ripu bhayam, rupe jaraya bhayam, shastre vada bhayam, gune khala bhayam, kaye krutantad bhayam, sarvam vastu bhayanvitam, bhuvi nrunam, vairagyameva bhayam. Fine.